And this one man, I really insulted him for like, I have seen that in Memphis. I said, how come there are all these men here? And they said, well, they get tired of their wives and they end up here.
Good morning, everyone. Please rise. And we're going to sing the first verse of Silent Night.
As we gather here today as members of Rotary, we pray that we are ever mindful of opportunities to render our service to fellow citizens and to our community, keeping in mind always the enduring value of life, exerting our efforts in those areas and on those things upon which future generations can build with confidence. Let us continue to strive to make a better world. Amen.
Amen. Mike, would you introduce our guest, please?
Good morning, everyone. Once again, it's good to see Jeff Legg here from Allentown West. Jeff, thank you for being here. Jeff's a regular.
Give him an invoice.
I was going to say, I think he should be on the dues platform somehow. Should be a regular. No good deed goes unpunished. He should be paying him a little more. So it's good to have him here. Steve will introduce our guest for this morning.
All right, thank you, Mike. Any announcements from the floor?
Fine $1 for not having my.
Yes.
Dues time. Today's the day.
Anybody else forget? Mike.
Good morning. For those of you that don't know, I've been involved with Big Brothers and Big Sisters since 1995, and I bowled in our bowl-a-thon for the whole time. I'm probably one of the better bowlers in that group, and I'm not that good to begin with. So. But we're having our event on March 3rd at the name change of the alley over at the old Mac, off of Mac over at 12th Street in Allentown.
Parkway Lanes.
Is it still Parkway Lanes? I know they went through a transition of names, but it's pretty much an all-day affair. We start at 9 and we go to 3 or 4 o'clock. Usually about 700 to 900 people come through the doors. Supported by many companies, PPL, Embassy Bank, other banks. Wells Fargo is pretty prominent. So I know it's going to be a push. Rory's not here, but he and a group of his friends bowled last year and had a great time. You're there 1 hour in and out. Service Electric comes and televises from, let's see, I'm going to say from 11 to 1. If you get lucky enough to be on TV, you'll get a lot of phone calls afterwards on how bad you are as a bowler. So hope to see you. I hope we can get a team together or a group. I'll take donations as we get closer if anybody wants to donate. It's a great cause. We try to raise about $130,000, and it stays in the Lehigh Valley to take care of children that we have mentoring programs through the schools and through regular relations. So hopefully we can do something for us. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mike. So I want to thank everybody for that wonderful rendition of Silent Night this morning. But you know, this year goes along really quickly, and you know, there's one person who's been here for the longest time.
I'll get it for you.
He comes in, he gives us grief, okay? I almost like him. But he's the unsung hero that every morning, every Thursday morning, gets his breakfast ready for us. Sometimes he can make the bacon a little crispier, but hey, you know, sometimes. Dominic's the new guy on the street, okay? He's been here for about 2.5 months, is that right?
With you guys, yes.
Well, that's all I need. I don't know your other girlfriends, okay? But anyway, we just want, every year we give them a thank you gift at Christmas. And I just wanted to say thank you so much for everything you do for us. We do appreciate it. Thank you very much. Okay, Mr. Photographer.
Thank you, guys.
God, things we do for Rotary. So Alicia's not here. I'm just gonna reiterate, if you have those letters, please come up with a name for her. It has to be a woman, remember that, and someone who's distinguished in our community, a Rotarian and a non-Rotarian. Please get those to her. All right, don't forget, next week is the acapella group. Don't miss it, guys. If you've never heard them, it's an experience. If you have heard them, you will be back. I know that. And that's about all for that. There's a board meeting following next week's meeting. That's all for announcements. I have any more from the floor? All right, who has the raffle?
The fill-in greeter.
Did you find out who the greeter was? Because unfortunately, JP, we thought it was you. We were mistaken. It's okay.
I must say, somebody gave me the name, but I can't pronounce it.
Yes,
So,
I have it on here, but I don't know if I want
I
to
don't know
publicly
who it
embarrass
is.
them.
Oh, no, they're owing a fine.
Is it Nguji?
Yes,
Nguji.
yeah, it's
Oh,
Nguji.
it's Nellie's brother. She could pay the fine for it.
Yeah.
We're okay with that. We're okay with that.
Oh, boy.
That's what it takes when you get family in Rotary.
You were the one we thought was the greeter. I'll let you pick the first
I'm gonna
pick.
pick my own next, so nobody can complain.
It's only fair.
Pick mine.
013.
You got it?
Hey, we have a winner. We have a winner.
Oh, and
Take another ticket.
Yeah, here it is. You want to double check? I don't have my glasses.
well, I have mine on, but yeah, that's it. You won. Now you can pick the next one. Okay, we have 002.
All right,
Right there.
Wow. Richard. This pays for my dinner last night for my husband.
993.
Oh, I'm 994.
When people rejoin you, and make sure you win. Take back my
Oh,
computer.
you had it arranged, thank you. Just to make me feel good, thanks.
I can remember my pin cost.
This is Bob Holmes' breakfast. Since there's that pregnant pause, I'll take over.
Pregnant pause.
Yay!
Mr. Sergeant at Arms, excuse me, I was having a conversation with the president-elect. It was a very important presidential conversation about one of our other members.
Can I pull that picture out of you two?
Fake news.
You may.
Can I?
You may.
All right. Well, first I'm going to start with the president-elect. Lexa, are you here?
I signed twice.
She signed twice.
Oh, did you have breakfast? And did you get a raffle ticket?
It's not fair, okay,
It's fair to everybody else.
They never said this guy was fair.
Yeah. Christina is missing a pen. Decorations all over. I got money from.
I have, it's out in my car.
Because her picture, in case you guys didn't see it, was in the East Penn Press.
Great picture, Seal.
I used the one in my car today.
It's a lot better than the picture he's going to show
That's
you.
what I need to do, keep it in my
Big
car.
T. Yo, there's one in the middle up top.
Forget it.
Doesn't
Yeah,
that
well,
look
that's
like
what I
Reese's?
used today.
The answer is yes.
It might look like it, but it's not. Right up there, doesn't it just look like Rick here, and that's Steve right there?
Oh.
All I can see is Santa Claus from here.
Well, that's
I'm struggling with the first part of the four-way test.
Don't commit yourself. Yeah, don't commit yourself. You gotta watch your
Sergeant at
hands.
Arms is reaching.
Reaching.
This isn't you, Steve.
you don't have them.
That's what I thought, yeah. So a couple of pictures, how much, Steve? Oh, no, not me.
That's his dog.
Four-way test.
I did get money from Dale because he was late, and he also said he might leave early too.
I owe you.
Yeah.
I'll get
Do
it.
you want me to get it from the guy who pays for the whole table all the time? I've gotten it from him before, we can do that.
Be
And
good.
for
That'd be a
Tom
great
Lupin,
idea.
I have
$2.
one from her. Oh,
I had to tell the truth.
yes. Melissa, you don't have
I'll
your
pay
pay,
back.
do you?
Don, we got it.
But thanks,
She
Jim.
said it was a
Thank
youth
you.
coach, you didn't want to put a hole in it, you know. All right, happy dollars. We're near the holidays, you know, festive. JP has his coat on, I have my sweater on.
John, get my.
Go ahead, Ralph.
Yeah, for me, get my.
Okay, I've got 20 happy
Do
dollars.
that Big Brother
14
business.
of the 20.
I want to. I did it before.
14 weeks I will be away this winter from here. And it's in the sun, hopefully keeping warm. The other $6 is for me to talk about, you know, you got Bob Halsey talking about his family, JP talking about his family. Well, I've got the family. First thing that everybody knows, I have 7 children. They're all married, have children, are employed. From that group, I have 21 grandchildren. Now, out of these 21 grandchildren, 12 of them have completed college and are in the workforce, working, all of them. Okay, I have 3 more, which presently are in college, and one will be completing this spring, and the remaining 5 are all in either middle school or high school, working toward getting to college. I think that's a pretty big thing there. Then on top of that, of those grandchildren, 5 of them are already married and are raising children. And that gives me 10 or 11 great-grandchildren. All these great-grandchildren, others are in school systems. One of the great-granddaughters already graduated from Rutgers University. She's in the workforce, and she just delivered my great-great-granddaughter.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
That one might break the bank.
Okay, everybody.
Anybody here can
And so forth. And one other thing I do for every one of my grandchildren, when they were going through school, anybody who got on the honor roll got $20. And goes also for my great-grandchildren. And and this has really made them really care about, you know, getting good grades and going to college. And of course, one of those granddaughters is now in Wilkes College. She got a full scholarship, and she's in that thing. So it does promote good things. So for all the grandchildren, but I'm very proud of all of them, and they're doing very, very well. So.
Thank you, Ralph. Hey, Ralph, are you adopting?
Everybody only had $20 a year.
He should give money for every child and offspring.
said, "Oh, I've got you beat, I've got 28. The next lady said, "Oh, well, I've got her beat, we have 36. And the last lady said, "Well, let me think a second. According to my husband, John, his dad is still alive, and according to him, he has 104 great-grandchildren." Now you know why they don't have TV.
But I have $4 happy for my youngest granddaughter, Lily, is a swimmer for William Allen High School, and they're swimming on Tuesday. She won 4 of her 4 events that she does. First place.
All right, moving on.
Steve, would you introduce our guest, please?
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
We have a special guest today. Our guest is the Allentown officer in charge and the Lehigh Valley Area Services Coordinator for the Salvation Army. He's an officer in the Army for 24 years. He's married 29 years. He lives in Upper Macungie Township. He has 4 children from 26 to 16, 4 sons and a daughter. And I believe that there's really only one person that is possibly busier than he is this time of year, and that would be Santa Claus. So I'd like to give a warm welcome to Major Juan Mercado with the Salvation Army.
Around your neck. Keep going. There you go.
Hang on one. Okay, we should be good to go.
Can you hear me? Yes. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It's a pleasure for me to be here. And thank you for inviting me to present today the work and the services and programs of the Salvation Army. As Steve was mentioning, I am Juan Mercado, and if you feel a little accent, it's because I'm born and raised in Puerto Rico. And up to June this year, I was there serving as the administrator of the Salvation Army Ryan Joan Truck Center that we have in Guayama, and we served there for 7 years. In the Salvation Army, the officers are moved from time to time, so my wife and I, we've been serving for 24 years in different places in Puerto Rico or in the States. But this is the first time that we are here in Allentown. And so far, besides the cold, everything is fine. I also have to say that even that I'm living here, I'm a Yankees fan, so I am sorry if that offended you. But should I pay a happy dollar for that? I will pay it if I have to, very happily. The Salvation Army started in 1865 in East London. A minister called William Booth felt called because he saw the need in East London of people living in the streets, men and women, children being abused. And at that time, the place that he was working, he was a minister, didn't have the capacity to provide services for those in need. So he decided to do something, and he created what was first called the Christian Mission. And then eventually it changed into the Salvation Army. In 1880, the Salvation Army came to the United States, and the first place that they were established was Pennsylvania. So Philadelphia was the first place that someone from the Salvation Army came and began the work there. And from there till now, We are in about 152 countries in the world. We're in all 50 states and many places providing for those in need. Here in Allentown, we have different programs that goes from what you are familiar with, the kettles, the ringing the bell during the Christmas season. And it's important to mention that everything that we collect during this time stays in the community. Every community that does the campaign, all that money stays there for the programs on that community. So whatever we do in Allentown stays here 100%. Our services range from children to seniors, and we do different things with them. For example, during this Christmas season, this past Thanksgiving time, we were able to provide for 200 families turkeys. We need to understand this, and we see this every day, and sometimes we take it for granted, but there are many, many people that we serve daily that have nothing in their pantry, that have nothing in their fridge, that have nothing to eat, and we see that constantly. And things like this, providing turkeys, means a lot for a family that would not have anything to celebrate during that important time. During that week also, we provided a Thanksgiving meal for homeless. 107 people came that, again, didn't have anything to eat during that week. Next week, we will be celebrating or doing an event. It's our toy drive, and we have 1,070 families sign up for that. So we have thousands and thousands of toys right now. We were doing that yesterday, and when I finish here, I go back to sorting toys. Seems like fun, but you have to be there and decide for yourself. Especially those who make sound. I don't know you, but I have children, and every toy that have a sound, whatever sound it is, it would last one day. After that, batteries will disappear in my house. That's the way it goes. So we will serve over 1,000 families between Wednesday and Thursday next week. Again, families that probably won't have anything to celebrate with. I'll give you an example. This past week, a lady named Tiffany came because she lost her job. She has 2 children, nothing in her house, no food, nothing, crying. And we were able to provide her with clothing, toys, food from our food pantry, and Giant Supermarket was so kind to give us some gift cards. So we also provided a $100 gift card to her that made a difference for her. So she started to cry, and that's what we're here for, to do things like that, like Tiffany and other people. Some of the services that we do that go beyond the Christmas season. People think that because we're out during the Christmas and you don't see us the rest of the year, that we disappear. No, we work 365 days, and we provide services all the time, all year long. Some of those services are UGI assistant. We provide through a grant assistance in utilities for people, for gas. We also have food pantry. We do that twice a month, every other week on Wednesdays. On those days, we serve around 100 people a day. And the first time, you can only go once a month, so we serve 200 people a month, about or more. We also do soup kitchens on Sundays, every other Sunday. On those days, we provide meals for about 100 people too. During this time of the year, they come because of the cold, so we can serve up to 150, 160 meals every Sunday. We also have our after-school program for children from 7 to 13, and that program, although People pay, it's only a $10 a month fee, and we do different things with the children there. Most of the children are from our school next door, Central, and we help them with homework, we do music with them, we teach them values, we teach them all things during the afternoon. We provide snacks for them during the time that they're there, from 3 to 6, and we also provide a meal twice a week. We do summer day camp during the summer for children also. That's not only we do it in our facilities, but we also have a stay away camp in Waymark, Pennsylvania, where we also take children there to stay for a week or so, and a beautiful facility that we have there. The other programs that we have include our shelter, which is located in 7th Street between 7th and Gordon. In that place that probably many people don't know about, we have 50 beds. It's the only emergency shelter for families in the area, and we do have we have served during this year 179 women and children. It's only for women with families. We do this through the 211 system, so people have to enroll in the 211 system. 52 women in our community have been able to go out from our shelter to have affordable housing by their own. 60 of those women that we have served have found employment while living in our shelter. We provide 3 meals a day there, snacks. We do packed lunches for the women who are working or looking for work. We do life skills that are held twice a week on budgeting, community resources, substance abuse, domestic violence, parental skills, nutrition, health, and many other. We partner with other companies and foundations to assist in holding those life classes and other resources that we can, as many as we can, through the year. If you have a chance, I would invite you to go there. It's a beautiful place, and you will find that we are making a difference there, and then you can also help if you want in that sense. We just started a program there called Fresh Start, and the intention of this program, and the company Air Product is sponsoring us right now, but we need more help. The idea is that when we provide for these women there and the children, when they go out, that the Fresh Start program will provide for them the basic needs of new household items, plates, all kind of things for the house that they're gonna be in, because usually they come from nothing, either homelessness or abuse or something else. They come to the shelter, we help them there, and then they go out, and usually they don't have much. So the program is to provide them with something that they can be there in their home with their new household items. On that building, we also have 6 bedrooms for permanent housing. Those beds are for chronically homeless women, usually that come from drug or alcohol addiction, or any mental health condition, disabled, HIV/AIDS, or other disorders. On that floor that we have the permanent housing, we have each woman has their own private room. They share the kitchen where they do their own meals. They have their own fridge where they can store their own food. They have a caseworker that can work with them, and any services that they need, or even with health or other things, the caseworker would coordinate with them, and they can go and find the resources that they may need. Every woman that had left our permanent housing has found, our shelter has found a permanent house in the community. We also have what we call a program called Pathway of Hope. Pathway of Hope is a special program. It's a commitment that a person who wants to participate have to do for at least 6 months. And the purpose of this program is basically to help the person or the family, have to be a family with children, to go from dependence to independence. One of the things that we notice every year and in every place that we go is that the people that come to our buildings are usually the same, and they come every time, every year. They don't move from their situation for whatever reason. Sometimes it's drug abuse, sometimes it's family situations, but for whatever reason. So the Pathway of Hope is a program that, with a caseworker, intensive help for them to go and learn about skills, learn about where to go to find their degree or skills to work, and then housing and all that, so they can be independent and they can be on their own. I don't have or need the assistance of the Salvation Army or any other organization. And I think this is a beautiful way of trying to contribute to our communities also, and bring people from whatever needs they have to being able to support themselves and also contribute to the community. We've seen the success in many places. We've also seen many that have started and never end, because some people are just unfortunately used to that life, to the life of someone else giving them a hand. So what we want to do is for them to go on their own. Most important than anything that we do is that we are a church. The officers in the Salvation Army, as myself and my wife, we are ordained ministers. Our mission is to preach the gospel, to spread the love of God, to help those in need without discrimination. And in our church, we do also programs with children, young adults, and seniors. We have services on Sundays like any other church. Our background is Methodist, as William Booth was a Methodist. And that's the reason that we do what we do, because we love the Lord. And especially during this time of the year, we see the need. We see the need in the community. We see the need in so many people, in children and seniors. Every time that you pass by Red Kettle and you put something there, you are making a change with us. So for that, I thank you for the opportunity to speak to you today. We thank you. And if there's any questions, thank you for having me.
For the folks you were just talking about who are in that cycle of just dependency, what do you see or ways of trying to break that cycle and helping them understand that that's not the correct way to be a member of society?
What do I see in terms of why do they stay there?
Yeah, or what educational things do we need to provide to help them understand that that's not the way to be?
This behavior is, unfortunately, the way the system is set up. Sometimes people, and I say this with very respect, okay? Sometimes the system is set up for people to stay that way. So if it's better for me to stay dependent on the government versus going to McDonald's and work for $7.25 an hour, I'll stay with the government.
Yeah.
So when you do that and you do the math, and I do better with the assistant than with an employment, that doesn't help. So that's one of the reasons. The others are usually, other reasons beside that are usually drug abuse, substance abuse, or domestic violence and things like that. But mainly that when you weigh that on your mind and you do a simple math, you rather stay there.
First off, thanks to you and your wife for helping those in the community that in need of help. That's really great on your part. I've always wondered about the name Salvation Army. I could speculate, but how did a name like that come about? When you think of Army, you think of something completely different. I'm just curious how that name came about when they made the name change from the previous organization.
At the beginning in England, when William Booth was working with what we called before the Christian mission, there was a letter that was sent to him, and in the letter someone wrote William Booth and his volunteer army. So he saw that and he scratched the volunteer part and put Salvation Army, and then he started to use that to promote the mission, and it changed. It was incorporated in England, and then the rest is history. But basically that, someone wrote to him, William Booth, such and such, did that with his volunteer army, and he scratched that and put Salvation.
Thank you.
Do you work with Turning Point, the wife abuse organization?
I'm not sure that we do. Maybe in our charter we have, but I've been here only since June, so I'll have to find out for you.
Yeah, so I retired from Air Products, and I worked for United Way for 6 years after I retired in fundraising, and I worked a lot with the nonprofits. And this is one of the most efficient and most effective charities around, and they're dealing in the most difficult situations in our community, so I give them a lot of credit. The other interesting thing, that I think I had this correct, when Roy Kroc of the McDonald's fortune died, he left his money to his wife, and then his wife gave a major part of that money to the Salvation Army global organization. So this is a big charity with a lot of impact on our community.
Yeah, we received an endowment from Juan Kroc of about $2.5 billion.
Billion.
That's good.
About 15 years ago. And the reason was that before that she gave a big donation in San Diego. I don't know if you remember, but Ray Kroc was owner of the San Diego Padres at some point. And there they built these beautiful facilities. I was able to go there and saw it myself a few years ago. About $80 million facility with pools and a hockey ring and all kind of stuff for the children in the community, for the most in need. She saw what the Salvation Army did there, and before she died, she put that endowment aside for making things like that through the nation. So a few years back, all the Salvation Army in the nation were able to submit proposals for those kind of facilities. And there, right now we have 26 around the nation, and one of them is in Puerto Rico, another in Hawaii. I want to go to the Hawaii, but no one has invited me yet. So it's a shame. So every place that submitted was evaluated. The purpose was to have it in places where there was the most need with the least services. Those two things were very important. And the way that she did it was that she will provide money for the construction, but also set aside money for an endowment for helping to keep it running. Because sometimes you give a donation, you build a place, and then what? But she was able to set up in that way, and we were blessed to direct one of those places in Puerto Rico. We have one here close to us in Philadelphia. If you haven't been there, I will tell you, this is the Philadelphia one is one of the most beautiful ones that I've seen. There's another one in Camden, which is close to us too. So either one, if you have a chance to go there and visit that and see a different way of the Salvation Army doing things, it is fantastic. Thank you.
You mentioned that you were recently in Puerto Rico serving. Can you tell us about the recovery there?
During the hurricane, my family and I were at Guayama, as we were living there. It doesn't matter how much you prepare for what was coming, everyone was affected. The devastation was incredible. The images that you saw on TV do not do justice of what really happened. 2 days after the hurricane came through, we started to serve the community. We didn't have electricity. We were fortunate to have, because we had the Ray and John Kroc Center generator, and we were up and running because of that. We also have water supply for us, but many people didn't have either one. So we started to provide meals there for people to come and eat in our place, but also for people to, for us to cook and deliver meals to others. We serve 1,500 meals a day in our facilities from September 22nd, hurricane was September 20th, I will never forget that, and to January. So 4 months serving 1,500 meals. Some of the meals were for a senior center that didn't have anything to eat. So we were the ones feeding them. We have about 220 seniors there. We also provided food to the main rescuers. So some of like the police department, the electric company, the water company, they will come to us and we'll provide the meals for their workers. Well, that to say that it has taken a long time to recover. Right now, the infrastructure is the main problem. All the electric posts and everything, they still need to be replaced. There are many streets that are still in the dark because no one has replaced that. The federal government has not released all the funds that were already approved for bringing back all the needs that needs to be done there. There are a lot of people that we know, that we've seen, that still live with a blue tarp on their houses. So that's their roof right now. It's something between both the federal and the local government. It's a shame to say it from me because I'm from there, but the ineptitude of our government really is one of the key reasons that we have still in this process.
Thank you.
I'd like to, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
So, how do you join the Salvation Army? I don't see recruiting stations around like you do. No, seriously.
No, I understand. I understand. That's a very good question. I think that I have to say that in part my wife recruited me.
Okay.
Because she started to go because of a friend of her invited her. So I was dating her a week. She was my high school sweetheart. And we were not allowed to date because of his father didn't want her to have a boyfriend or whatever. So I figured if I have another chance besides school to be with her, I will go to church. So I have no interest in going to church really because I was not raised like that. But as a 15-year-old boy, I started to go. I like it. I accepted Jesus as my Savior. And then from there, you become more familiar of the process, which is going to training school, which in our case is in Suffern, New York. You study there for 2 years, and then you continue to do other studies after that. You are there as a cadet. You become a lieutenant for 5 years, and
So
then
there's no enlisted guys in the Salvation Army? It's all
not really. Yes and no. We call it, and I was one of those. We call it divisional youth secretaries, and they go around within our, buildings and especially on Sundays when people gather. And if there's potential in someone who express a desire to become an officer, they start talking to them, and it's a whole process, very complicated, interesting. they do a psychological evaluation. I always think that I didn't pass, but you still took me.
You're among friends here, don't worry.
I always wonder, really. My wife is fine. I think I passed because of her.
Juan, how do you volunteer for your group? I mean, so we're Rotarians. One of the things we do is we do volunteer work. Besides giving money, how can we help you from a volunteer perspective be more effective in the community?
Usually you can call us or go to our facilities. There's a form to be filled so we can do background checks because it's required also by law, especially in this state. But as soon as we are clear with the person or the group, groups are different. You can do many things. You can go like today. You could go to our facilities. We coordinate with you. You're available for 4 hours. We'll tell you, okay, come, go to the second floor, help us sorting the toys. The other group from the Rotary Club from Allentown, last Saturday, they stank at us from 10 to 6. So that was a big help. They raised almost $400 on JCPenney. Other things that you can do is during Food Pantry Day, if you have a couple of hours, it's from 9 to 11 every other Wednesday. You go there and you will be helping, making the bags and all that, and helping with the services there. Many other things that we can do. So you just need to go, and we'll place you somewhere.
Okay, thank you.
Steve?
I just want to wrap it up, everybody. I want to impress to everybody how thankful I am for Major Mercado to come out this morning. I mean, this is absolutely the Salvation Army's craziest, busiest time. When I called over a week or so ago to see if I could get somebody to come over, the guy running the entire Lehigh Valley operation of Salvation Army was out helping people load a truck with toys for kids. So I have a lot of respect for you.
Thank you.
I thank you so much for coming and taking the time, and thank
you for having us.
All right, but all please rise and say the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. See everybody next week.